I wonder why I hate on Chevrolet so much. This is why. That Blazer has an engine problem. That one, transmission, bad trans, bad trans, bad trans, bad trans, engine problem, bad trans. And we also got a Traverse inside getting an engine. Now, is this because Chevrolet is that bad? Well, yes and no. I mean, there is a lot of them on the road, so there's going to be a lot to repair. But we still see them more than we see America's best-selling pickup, the F-150, which has its own issues. After all, we are a transmission shop, and Chevys are definitely known for bad transmissions. So I am thankful a little bit for Chevrolet, because without all these trucks going bad, I'd probably starve. It's like I always said, the 4L60 paid for most of my college. Stay dirty and subscribe.
Is this a Chevy thing? 320 miles and already got a check engine light on?
All my friends warned me not to get a 6.0. I haven't even made it 30 minutes. Look at all that coolant. Oh, and oil. Oh, yeah. Why the heck on a $60,000 truck are the wheels have a plastic cover on them? This is a plastic cover. So I'm about to take off this wheel and I'll show you. They literally glue a plastic cover on top of a metal rim. It's just so cheap and phony looking. I mean, I already hate plastic fender flares on top of metal. It just looks funky. But to do this on an actual wheel is just hilarious. I wasn't joking. Literally glue on a plastic cover. So here's the actual wheel, and then you got a plastic cover all the way through. Because at first I was like, what is this? And then I realized that's actually the metal. That's the aluminum. And then they got a plastic cover going on in through there. I mean, I get it's one thing to save money and I guess saving weight, but you're buying a car, paying for these upgraded wheels because they're 20-inch wheels, and then basically getting this hunk of junk. You can go on Amazon and buy stuff like this. It's just absolutely criminal that they're charging you money for this stuff from the factory. You can go on Amazon and buy wheel covers. They're like 40 or 50 bucks. Having to pay thousands of dollars to get upgraded wheels, and this is what you're getting? Crazy.
I might have to go and lemon law this one, this Bronco right here. It's leaking right in this track right here, which I'm going to show you right now. All right, so it started. So last week, this is the same truck that button engaged right there, which shuts the engine off when you stop, doing 75 miles an hour down the expressway now. I've never even had the top off this Bronco. I bought myself one and I bought her one. Like, when I twist it, I'm going up on the driveway. There it is. Oh, you fucking gotta be kidding me. Dude, this is like 75 grand of fucking...
And I can see if we've taken the tops down.
I've never taken
the tops off.
Yeah, I've never taken the top off. It's got 3,000 miles on it, dude. This truck is brand new. And look, I'm going down my driveway. You can hear the top moving.
I think the water is all ran down here already.
And the top is leaking. You gotta be kidding me. So now my Bronco's leaking water. How did that just happen?
It was raining all day today.
Yeah, but
well, when you came back on
you're like,
the driveway.
Hold on. You can see the water right here, how much dripped, but it was coming down here good. Coming right from here. I don't know. Right there. So unfortunately, my new Bronco, the roof is leaking now. 3,000 miles, and it's leaking all inside.
Ford is failing to fix their recalls. This is a 2014 F-150 and it's got a pretty crazy recall on the transmission. Now I have the recall right here and it reads that a problem with the transmission lead frame and output speed sensor will cause this vehicle to downshift into first gear at random times, including at highway speeds, which increases the risk for a crash. Now obviously that's a safety concern and should be taken care of immediately. Now the lead frame is just a fancy term for wiring harness. All it does is take the connections from here and take them to the solenoids. And it also houses both transmission speed sensors, one right here and one right here. It sits on top of the valve body and you have to remove the valve body to get it out, which with a lift is not too hard of a job. But when I called my local Ford Ford dealer to get this recall done for the customer, they told me they didn't have a transmission tech that could do it. And instead, the customer would have to drive an hour away to their other dealership where they have a transmission tech that can do it. So instead of getting this job done for free, he now has to pay us to do it for him. And we can't even get the OEM part. We got to use a Dorman replacement. These lead frames from Ford stay on back order, and not to mention they cost more than the Dorman product. Now, you know I don't like to use aftermarket parts, but when you're working on a Ford, does it even really matter?
Brand new tow truck. Brand new tow truck, no stickers on it. 35 miles on the odometer, and it already has the check engine light on. How the hell?
Bro, what? I did my research. I was hoping it wouldn't be true. 2025, Colorado. You see that? 770 miles. Check engine light. Getting ready to go home from work. Bro, what?
Driving this piece of junk F-150. Ford has really gone downhill. I mean, the cars have, like, technological wise, they're incredible. Don't get me wrong. And with that comes problems. And a fix now for a Ford F-150 when something like this dash or this goes out or whatever, all the technology they have, it's like $20,000 to fix. Like, who's fixing that once it's out of warranty? Something you need to think about when you're purchasing these. But Ford's running into some problems. This one has that V6 twin turbo, nothing but problems. My Bronco has the 4 turbo, which is a much better engine. Been around for a long time. It just, man, it's just too much, I think. We don't need all this stuff.
Video if you've bought a new truck recently or are thinking about it. I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments section below.
It's absolutely criminal that these new cars don't have to come with a spare tire anymore. Because I just realized on my last Maverick, it didn't have a spare tire. It's like $110 option now from Ford to have a spare tire on your Maverick. I mean, can you just imagine you're on the side of the road, you look down and realize, oh shoot, I got a flat. Now I got to call a tow truck. Just like, think about how bad that is. Like, $110, you get a spare. Don't pay $110, you don't get a spare. And it's funny because, like, the Maverick, right, you see there's obvious space for that spare. I get on some new cars, maybe you don't have the trunk space to put a spare, and then you got to put like one of those mini donuts, or you got to put a inflator in there. But nothing will ruin your day more than finding out you don't have a spare tire. Because actually, that's happened to me once before. One of my sisters borrowed my dad's car. This had been like 10 years ago. And they hit the sidewall and they popped it, right? And at that time, too, it was hilarious. The car did not have a spare. It had an inflator and like the sealant you can put in there for your tire if you have like nails and stuff. So then you got to spend $200 on a tow truck alone, maybe even $300. I mean, the tow truck is expensive now. It's like $4 or $5 a mile if you have to pay for it.
Yeah, the turbo. Turbo was making noise. This was hottest car back in the days. People would kill to have that. Let's start. Smells all right. No animal smell in here. No check engine light. Oh, engine doesn't run good. It's the back turbo. I can hear the turbo. Who wants to have a car in this weather with no AC? 2.0, 4-piston engine. Yeah, with turbo. Turbo was making noise. You're probably looking at $1,500 to $2,000 damage. Repairs. The price is good, but you never know if it's going to bring this price in the auction. But it's a nice car. I like it.
This morning we've got a 2026 L5P. It's only got 9,000 kilometers on this thing. And it's a crank no start. So we can't get the thing to run. It won't build fuel pressure for whatever reason, fuel rail pressure. And if you come and you look down in behind the injection pump, that valley is right full of diesel fuel. That's not coolant down there. Way down. Yeah, see, it's right full of diesel fuel. So I don't know what exactly is going on. I tried commanding the regulator to try to get it to build any kind of pressure. I pinched off the return line from the fuel rail. That made no difference. So obviously something's leaking back here. Not really sure what exactly it is, but we got a new pump for this thing, so we're gonna pull this one out. Maybe we'll find something on the backside, maybe we won't, but either way, gotta throw a new injection pump on this L5P.
So have you guys heard about the transmission failures in the GM trucks?
2014 GMC Sierra with the 6L80 transmission. Customer states it goes in the neutral.
And would you believe that on this truck, the transmission failure was over a $99 part?
That's right. This is the transmission cooler line bypass valve, which stuck itself in the closed position.
And what it's supposed to do is close to help warm up the transmission and then open to cool it down. Well, when they stick in the closed position, they cook the transmission. Insert picture here of the metal filings on my finger when I swiped on the inside of this valve.
So this is the old transmission. The new one's getting installed.
And our recommendation is at every service interval of a fluid and filter change, replace that bypass valve. It's only $100. It could save you $5,000.
We have this brand new 2024 Duramax with 45,000 miles on it, and it's throwing the code P0747, which is a solenoid stuck open code.
Actually, it's a solenoid stuck on code. So that can be a hydraulic mechanical problem at the same time. P0747 can actually be a problem in an 8-speed and a 10-speed, like 10L80, 10L90, and 10L1000.
So the descriptor can say that the solenoid is stuck on, which means that the pintle is forced to force the valve to move against spring pressure and hydraulic pressure flows through to apply clutch. So what if the clutch is there and it's still stuck on, or the valve does not move and release back, and indicates a problem that it did not engage or release from one gear ratio to the next.
P0747 indicates that transmission control solenoid valve 1 is stuck off. Service Bulletin 24-NA-088 will instruct the technician to remove the transmission fluid pan and inspect for clutch debris. Feed limit low valve can wear out as low as 30,000 miles. Excessive side load wear in the feed limit low valve can reduce the amount of pressure that's going to the default solenoid and the control valves. Pressure loss can put the transmission into default mode at highway speeds, and this is the reason for the momentary wheel.
What is going on with trucks right now? Because when you watch enough of these owners, one thing becomes really hard to ignore. People aren't complaining about some ancient truck with 200,000 miles on it. We're talking about vehicles that are barely broken in, and some of them are already showing serious problems. You've got a 2025 Chevy with around 15,000 miles showing rust, newer trucks coming in with check engine lights, and owners literally asking themselves whether buying a new truck was a mistake. And honestly, I can understand the frustration. Imagine spending tens of thousands of dollars on a truck because you expect it to be reliable, only to have that little check engine light staring back at you almost immediately. One owner had just 35 miles on a brand new tow truck when the light came on. 35 miles. At that point, you're not even asking, how long will this truck last? You're asking, how did this happen before I even got started? And it isn't just one manufacturer. Chevy has transmission and engine complaints. Ford owners are dealing with recalls, leaks, warning lights, and complaints about increasingly complicated systems. Then you have trucks with barely a few thousand miles developing problems that owners never expected from something this new. That's what makes this frustrating. Older trucks certainly had problems, but at least there was an expectation that repairs would eventually become part of ownership. With these newer trucks, you're paying for modern technology, upgraded features, expensive trims, and supposedly better engineering. But when something goes wrong, that same technology can make the repair unbelievably expensive. And that's where the real problem begins. A truck isn't just transportation for a lot of these owners. It's their work vehicle. It's what they use to tow, haul, get to job sites, and make money. So when a brand new truck spends time sitting in a shop, it's not just an inconvenience. It can actually interfere with someone's entire life or business. And then you see something like a Bronco with only around 3,000 miles developing a roof leak. The owner hasn't even taken the top off, and water is already getting inside. That's the kind of problem that makes someone look at a $70,000 vehicle and say, "You've got to be kidding me." Because at this price, People aren't expecting perfection. They're expecting the basics. Start the truck. Keep the fluids where they're supposed to be. Don't randomly throw warning lights. Don't leak water into the cabin. And don't develop major drivetrain problems while the vehicle is still practically new. The biggest lesson here isn't that every Chevy or Ford is automatically bad. That's obviously too simple. The transcript itself even points out that some brands have huge numbers of vehicles on the road, so naturally you're going to see more repairs. But when you keep seeing owners with the same type of frustration, it raises a bigger question. Are manufacturers putting too much technology and complexity into modern trucks without making sure the reliability is there first? Because customers are the ones paying for that gamble. And if a truck that costs $60,000, $70,000, or even more starts acting like a problem project before it has even reached serious mileage, it's completely understandable why these owners are frustrated. People aren't asking for something fancy. They're asking for a truck that simply works.